Hello, class. My name is Brianna, and today I will be doing my project on fracking. I will be going over a little history of fracking, what fracking actually is, how long fracking has been used for, who made fracking a bigger deal than what it was. I will also be letting you know how fracking has impacted oil and natural gas productions, if fracking is harmful to the health, if fracking causes earthquakes, a few scientific studies, and if fracking is harmful to our groundwater. So, what exactly is fracking, you may ask? Fracking is a drilling technique that has been used in the United States since 1947 that actually extracts oil, natural gases, and water from very deep under the ground. The whole fracking process starts with a well that has to be drilled vertically from the surface of the earth at a depth of 1 to 2 miles, injecting liquid and other materials at a high pressure rate to create small fractions that stimulate the production and extracts energy from an underground well. When fracking was first being used, it was being used successfully by oil and gas companies and was not being used commercially. When it started to be used commercially, a man named George Mitchell got curious with the fracking process when he began to throw out the idea to drill into shale and fracture at a high pressure rate to release natural gases. And then also, as you can see here, um, fracturing has been used to increase production on millions of oil and natural gas wells since 1949. Here's a picture that shows a bit of the process of what fracking actually is. As you can see that there is a they are pumping water, sand, and chemicals down into the earth at a high pressure rate that then creates cracks, which then those cracks release natural gases. As you can see here in the picture, it also says that the pressure of the water, sand, and chemicals forces cracks in the rock, and then the sand holds the cracks open, and natural gases flow back up into the greenhouse. My next slide here is, since fracking has been used for so long, some people ask how fracking has impacted the oil and natural gas productions. Well, oil production increased 75% from the year 2007 to the year 2016, and natural gas production also increased, but increased 39% from 2007 to 2016 as well. So, is fracking harmful to our public, to the public health? When I did some research, there were some articles that I had come across that said fracking was harmful, and some articles that said fracking wasn't harmful. One article I came across had done some studies that have shown fracking has actually improved our air quality, and the other article I came across stated that fracking releases compounds into the air, which long-term exposure to these compounds have been linked to birth defects, blood disorders, and cancer. And also in that article, it was basically saying that if you are around these wells for so long with these compounds flying into the air, that's basically how it gets to you. So basically for like the workers and whatnot. Okay, so does fracking cause earthquakes? Since fracking consists of digging into the ground at a high pressure rate, people tend to think that fracking causes earthquakes. Well, in reality, fracking does cause earthquakes, but the earthquakes tend to be so small that they cannot be felt by anyone here. And as you can see here, the USGS had made a statement saying that wastewater disposal is the primary cause of the recent increase in earthquakes in the central United States. So basically saying that fracking has nothing to do with our earthquakes that we've been having, I guess. So, if you guys remember the picture that I showed you guys earlier, there was a little part on the picture on the bottom left-hand side that said there's a possibility that fracking can cause a risk to contaminate our groundwater. While fracking can cause a risk, there has been at least 24 scientific studies that has shown fracking does not pose as a threat to our groundwater, which in my opinion, I feel like we should have more than 24 scientific studies to prove that, but as of now, we only have 24. So, to wrap up on my presentation, I have added this slide here with some scientific studies that have been done in the past about fracking, and I will go over a few with you guys today. In 2010, the Massachusetts Institute did a study and said that the risk of water contamination is low due to the distance between groundwater and where fracking actually occurs. In 2013, the University of Michigan stated that water contamination from fracking has never reliably been shown to have occurred. Then, finally, in 2017, the USGS states that unconventional oil and gas production has not been affecting drinking water. So, as you can see, all of these scientific studies has to do with our water quality. So that's a big issue, and so all these scientific studies are trying to prove that fracking has nothing to do with our groundwater. So, finally, this concludes my presentation on fracking, and I hope that you all have learned a little something about it. Thank you all for watching my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Here's another picture here. Maybe it explains it a little better about what fracking actually is. So you guys can take a look at it if you'd like, and then thank you for watching.